everyone. So we're back with part 2 of After Dark. This is a part of our Way Cool Keyboarding Teens Book 1 on page 32 and 33. This is now going to be the right hand. Now it's going to be a little bit longer, but I promise you it's very simple, and all of this is repeated throughout the song. So we'll be doing a lot of that. Go ahead and we're going to just bark right into it on measure number 1. I'm going to play for you measure 1 and 2. So we have our first note, a G, then we jump down to C, back to G. So we'll be going back and forth. G, C, okay? And measure number 2, you have G, and then you have G and F, then you have G and E flat together, and G and C together. So, what's the easy part of this measure is that your pinky is playing G the whole time. All you're doing now is adding your other chords, all your other notes. So you have G, G and F, E flat, and C. So playing measure number 1 to measure number 2 sounds like this. G, C, G, C, G, F, E flat, C. Fairly simple. Now going to measure number 3, you start with G, but instead of playing C, what do you play? You got it, letter D. So you have G, D, G, D. Then you have the same indication, but instead of landing on C at the end, you land on D, which is what you originally played on measure number 3. So you have G, F, E flat, D. Okay? So now I'm going to play from measure 1 to measure number 4. So we have C, G, C, G, G, F, E flat, C, G, D, G, D, G, F, E flat, D. Measure number 5. So we have G, C, G, C, G, F, E flat, back to F. Then the measure number 7, you have D, E flat, F, E flat, D, C, D. Let's break that down a little bit. So going back to measure 5, it's just like the beginning. G, C, G, C. Then the first 3 chords are very similar. G, F and G, E flat, G. But instead of going down to D or C, you'll actually be going back up to F and G together. So you have G, F, G, E flat, F, G. Then the beginning of measure number 7, you have D and G, and you have E flat and G next, back to F, and then G and E flat, then D, C, and D. So throughout all of these measures, as I said, a lot of letters, but all these letters I'm using are the ones besides your pinky playing G. So what I'm going to be saying now is all of these fingers and all of these letters instead of saying NG, 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 because that's just a given. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat measure 5 to 8. So we have C, G, C, G, C, G, F, E flat, F, D, E flat, F, E flat, D, C, D. Okay, so now I'm going to play from measure 1 all the way to measure 8. So we have from the beginning 1, 2, ready, and G, C, G, C, G, F, E flat, C, G, D, G, D, G, F, E flat, D, G, C, G, C, G, F, E flat, F, D, E flat, F, D flat, D, C, D. So measure 9, which is our next part, all the way to measure 16 is that exact same phrasing, just repeated. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this closer to you so you can see that. These 2 right here are just copy and pasted down in these 2. So all these 4 sections are just the same. Now I'm going to go ahead, due to that fact, I'm going to go ahead and go over that very last part. Bottom. And measure 17, you have C and G together, and then E flat G together. Then you have D, G together and F, G together. So throughout this whole time, you have G playing with your other fingers that are going to be switching. So I'm going to play from measure 17 all the way to 20. So we have C and G, E flat G, D, and now F. Next page, E flat, then C, G, then switch, D, E flat, F, E flat, D, C, D. So that little part you've actually heard before from a little section of the beginning of the song. So this is a lot of movement you have to be doing right now, so go ahead and pause and take your time to go over all of this we just went through. The ending, the last two beginning parts right here, the second and third systems are actually just copy and pasted from the first two up here, okay? So measure 25 all the way to 32 is just a repetition of what you've already done. And measure 33 to the end is fairly simple. On measure 33 to the end sounds like this. G, C, G, C, G, C, G, C, C. And if you notice, you have a tie connecting your C to the last C. So that means you're gonna add that amount of counts together. So you have the first C being a whole note, which is 4 beats. Then you have another whole note, which is another 4 beats. If you add that together, it is 8 beats. So you'll be holding that last C for 8 counts, okay? So at this point, take your time to practice the right hand, pause at the moment and just fix what you need to fix. I'm now gonna go ahead and put my hands together and on the piano, and I'm gonna be playing from the beginning to the end. You're welcome to join me if you feel like you're ready, and if not, just play this part with one of the hands you feel more comfortable, and whenever you are ready, go back to this part of the video and we're gonna play it together. So we have C and G, and G in the beginning of your right hand. So we'll be doing this together. So 1, 2, ready, and B flat. Enjoyed, and if you ever need anything or have any questions, go ahead and send me a message, and if not, well, I hope this helped. Thank you. Have a great day.